This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is episode 417 of Wheel Bearings. I am Sam Abuel-Salmon from Telemetry.
And I am Nicole Wakelin from Let's Go With Car Talk this week.
And I am Roberto Baldwin from SAE International.
And Nicole, what have you been driving?
Yes. I have been driving a tiny petite little thing this week. I have the Ford F-150 Tremor, which is a big truck. It's really big. It's a really fun story about this, like to start off. So I've got this big truck and you would want me to haul mulch or go to the dump. Did in fact go to the dump, cleaned out my garage with it. So I got rid of some dump stuff, so go me. But I also had some stuff I wanted to donate. When I say stuff I wanted to donate, it's an armful of like puzzles and toys and stuff. So I put them in the back seat of the giant Ford F-150 Tremor, and I went to Savers. I don't even know if they have those near you guys, but it's like a Goodwill type place.
Okay.
But I show up and the guys are all kind of chilling because they help you unload stuff from your vehicle. And they see me pull up in this F-150 and they're all sitting there, like the entire crew gets up. I'm like, no.
They're like, oh no. What it is?
Like they're standing by the back of the truck when I get out. I'm like, you guys can all go back to sitting down. The truck is confusing you. You can fit this in a Civic. And I like open the back door. Guy's like, oh, I thought we had some work ahead of us. Takes the stuff out, walks away. So I'm like, sorry, misled the entire crew into thinking I was donating half my house. No, just tiny little armful and a great big giant vehicle. But I did make a dump run. So I didn't buy mulch, but I made a dump run.
Well,
so there was
that's
something.
good. At least you used it for something.
I used it for trucky stuff. I going on a dump run, bringing stuff that won't fit in a normal car. It was too big. I feel like I used it appropriately. So F-150 Tremor. So it is one of the 952,000 variations of the Ford F-150 that you can buy. There are, how many trims of the one? According to what I'm seeing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different trim levels for the F-150. And then you've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different engines. There is somewhere they've written out what the possible number of combinations you can get on an F-150 is, and it's ridiculous. Like there are a ridiculous number of ways that you can outfit this goofy thing. So the Tremor in sort of, I'm going to say it sits in the middle-ish, where it's not like a heavy-duty off-road like a Raptor, but it's a little off-roady. It looks kind of cool. They made some updates this year. They call it Active Orange because, again, orange is the color of off-roading and red is the color of going fast. So it has orange accents on it that do actually look fantastic. It has, a standard 12-inch infotainment screen. It has the Pro Access tailgate and power tailgate. So it's like you can open the tailgate, again, like the configurations, 18 different ways. The one that I had, you can get more than one engine with this, but I had the 3.5 V6 EcoBoost in this, which is with a 10-speed automatic. It's 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. So it's a pretty robust engine. It's kind of fun to drive. It's just fun to drive a truck onto a highway because it's not like you want to go on a road trip in a truck because it's a truck. They're not like the most comfy. They're a little bouncy, especially when the bed is empty by nature. That's just how trucks are. But when you're trying to get on the highway and everyone in front of you is going slow and you mash the gas in this, and it's not like I'm trying to be angry and aggressive. I'm not trying to be a jerk and like, oh, you're in my way. But you sound that way. Like as soon as you mash the gas, it just like takes off and it sounds like you're angry. I'm like, well, now I am. And you go careening onto the highway. So I really enjoyed driving this. I took it into Boston. Over bouncy Boston roads. It handles nicely. It was good in stop and go traffic. And you know what? Here's a weird thing. Like the Sumner Tunnel, you have to go back and forth through to get to Logan Airport. And tunnels always feel narrow. Like you know in your head that somewhere an engineer like you, Sam, has measured this and has said the vehicles that we permit to go in these 2 lanes in this narrow tunnel will fit in these 2 lanes in this narrow tunnel. But some part of your brain, you're in a Civic, you're fine. You're in an F-150 and you're like, dear God, I'm going to lose a side mirror. It feels so big. I was driving.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between having, a foot and a half or 2 feet of clearance on either side of your mirrors, and having 3 inches on either side. It fits, but just barely.
So for 1 second, I sort of cast my eyes to the side. I'm like, oh, don't even look at that wall. I'm just like going straight ahead. And a tractor trailer passes me in the left-hand lane, because I'm slowing down to take a right as you come out of this tunnel. And he's coming really fast. And I was like, this is where I die. There's nowhere near enough room in this tunnel for both of us at once. It was so tight, but it's fine. It turns out the engineer who measured the tunnel measured correctly, and I didn't die. But it does feel big when you're in the city. In fact, I went back into the city yesterday. I'm like, I'm not taking the truck. I have to park this time. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I don't need that kind of headache in my life.
This is why Ford makes Mavericks, for people who live in the city.
I would have needed a Maverick. It is not friendly in a city. I mean, like I said, it fit, but I would not have wanted to have to wedge it into the parking space that I wedged my car into on Saturday afternoon. But I did enjoy driving it. I mean, it's a nice, as trucks go, it's comfortable, it's powerful, it looks like the burly truck that it is. And I feel like it does a nice happy medium. Like sometimes you get into trucks now and like the screens everything is too huge. Everything is like oversized, like an ogre is driving this, and we need big things so big, meaty people can handle it. Not everybody who's driving an F-150 is like, is this huge person. So it felt right-sized for a full-size truck. It had steps so you could get in, which I definitely needed because I tried to get in. I'm like, can I get in this if I don't step on the steps? The answer to that is awkwardly. As I tried to just step up, I was like, oh, Lord, that's a step.
I can do it.
Just do that.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, right? On. And then I'm like, well, what about stepping down? Same thing. You're like, whoa, that's a long way down. So those side steps are pretty essential on a truck, especially if you're, I don't want to say short. What's the word that my mom would say? She's like...
Vertically challenged?
What's that?
Vertically challenged.
If you're vertically challenged, thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for.
If you're not Robbie, let's put it that way.
If you're not Robbie is not vertically challenged. Robbie probably just be like, "What's wrong with you? Jump on in." It's like some 5-foot person. It's like I can't. It's too tall. So I like it. It's not cheap, but you're getting it. So the price range on this, the XL, which is the base trim on the F-150, starts at $36,965. The Raptor, which is the top, is $80,155. The Tremor's, like I said, it's kind of in the middle, $64,915. It's not an inexpensive truck, and that's if you just get the truck.
And that's a lot of money to have stickers put on the back of your truck.
Correct.
Because those are stickers. I've seen them like peeled off, peeling off.
No, I'd be so mad.
Yes, I've seen the Tremor stickers peeling off of trucks.
Really?
Yes.
To be fair, the Tremor does get some other stuff too.
It does.
It's not just stickers. It's got a little bit of
I know,
a lift.
but if you're paying that much money and it's a sticker and it comes off, come on.
I'd be mad, yeah. I'd be mad if the sticker came off. That would make me cranky.
Like peeling off.
Make me cranky. I'd be like, gosh dang it, I want the stickers to stay on there. It has a good tow rating. You can tow like 1,800 pounds if you have the V8. Or the payload. Sorry, the payload is 1,800. The towing is 10,600 pounds.
You could tow a house.
You could tow a small house. You
could tow another Tremor.
You could tow another Tremor.
Definitely.
You could tow another Tremor if you wanted to. And you get things like this, like Sam was saying, you get things on this. You have some skid plates on there. You get all-terrain tires. So, it has off-road capability without being the bazonkers off-road capability that you would find in a Raptor. Like, the Raptor's super fun. We've all driven Raptors, right? You've driven the F-150 Raptor. I'm assuming everybody's on the planet has driven it. Have you not driven it, Robbie?
I've driven
Not the current generation.
Okay.
I don't think I've driven the current one. Because, you drive the first one, you're like, all right, I got it.
Like, in general, Raptor.
I haven't asked for it.
Right? You're like, I want to go drive and have fun and be stupid in the dirt. Fine, get yourself a Raptor. It's super fun, but it is expensive. It is an $80,000 truck. And you're not going to, unless you're, I don't know, you're just retired and all you do is drive off in the dirt all the time. You're not going to do that. Most of the time you're going to be driving around on real paved roads, where the Raptor is not the ideal vehicle to have because it's too bouncy. I like that this is the halfway point. It has all the niceness and all the sort of like, this is comfortable. I drove the city. It's not so big that I felt like I truly felt like I was going to die. Like, it's still fit through the tunnels. It's still a usable vehicle, but if you want to go off-road because you plan to do that occasionally on the weekends, whatever, you can without having the real downsides of having something like a Raptor, which is just not great on road, and it's not in a city. Like, I don't think I would even try to drive that.
I lived in San Francisco when they gave me the Raptor.
And you lived, you survived, you still live.
I made it.
The period.
Yeah.
How traumatized were you?
I mean, you just get used to. I mean, if you live in the city, you get used to having like very small lanes. But also, like, I tried to pull into. We had a parking garage when I worked at Engadget underground, and I went to pull in, and the guy who runs the parking garage turned and looked. He came out and looked, and he just shook his head and told me to back. It wouldn't fit in the garage. I had to go park it like down the street. It was a whole thing, and every time I had to park it, I was like,
Right? See, that's the challenge. Like, that's the tough part in the city. It's really the parking. Driving can be sketchy because things are narrow and stuff. But you go to park and you look at every parking garage and you're kind of like,
this isn't going to fit.
Is it going to fit? I think it'll fit. And then you have those pipes. It's always like you get through the little yellow, the thing that says max height in a garage.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get through, you're like, oh, yeah, this is totally fine. But then there's random pipes, and that's what the max height is. That's where that yellow, and you're like, oh, that looks really low now.
Yeah, the yellow pipe, it'll move, if you're close. Those other pipes... They're not going anywhere.
Move, right? So I always look at those. I'm like, oh, God, is this where I've misjudged? One of these is a 1/4 inch too low. That's it. It's all over.
Cars have, they have variable suspension, some of these. Like, you'll have a Land Rover or whatever. And, it has variable suspension. You're like, wait. Because this, like, the parking garage I use for all my trips, like, I'm like, hold on. What was it on? Was it on the lowest? Was it on the highest? Is it going to adjust while I'm driving? And because I come back from a trip,
in the garage,
yeah,
right?
I come
Is
back.
It going to raise in the garage, and now I'm going to be stuck in the garage because I can't get back out.
Like when I come back from the trip, I'm like, oh no! And so I'm just driving really slow through the parking garage. Like every one of them, I'm like, oh,
you're waiting. You're like, nope. I went into that. No sounds.
You open it if they have glass roof, or if they have looking.
I looked up. I have the glass, like a panoramic roof open on, and I looked up. I'm like, oh my God, like it's right
that's
there.
Too close.
Like this is where I destroy a press car. What happened? Well, there was this low roof all the way across the top of the vehicle, right through the glass. That's the fear, and it's never happened. But the sense of that happening would make me not want to drive in a city with a big vehicle like that.
Years ago, I worked in an office in downtown Ann Arbor, and we had some parking spaces in a public parking garage across the street. And one time Ford sent me an F450 dually.
Oh, Jeez. Did it fit?
Height wise, it would have fit, but the dually rear axle, that was not going. So I just did not even drive that one to the office at all.
Yeah, you can't. There's some
too
vehicles
wide.
that are just not made for the city. The F-150 Raptor is one of those vehicles. F-150 Tremor, that could do it.
Barely.
Just to give a little sort of expectation of where I grew up, everyone in school that I knew wanted a dually.
So you grew up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but you lived in farm country, and people.
No, it was mountain country. It was mostly for horses.
Yeah,
we have a lot of dualies, or did more so here once upon a time because there's just a lot of farms. So they're always towing a trailer with something or equipment. We have tons of farms.
There was a Ford Ranger dually out for a while. I know because someone in my town had it.
That was a real thing? I didn't even know that was a
Ford Ranger
thing.
dually. Someone in my town had a Ford Ranger dually.
Not from the factory. Ford never built one.
I mean, Ford Ranger.
Wait, I'm Googling. I'm doing this.
We're all looking up the Ford Ranger dually. Ford Ranger dually.
I built one.
I mean, I'm sure somebody. Yeah, I mean, I found a few pictures here of ones that people built. But Ford never actually produced those from the factory.
According to the AI overview, when I Googled, it says it was never officially built, but companies like J.C. Whitney sold kits to convert a standard Ranger into a dually.
Well, what could go wrong with a J.C. Whitney dual?
Absolutely nothing. That sounds like a perfect idea. Let's give it a go.
I mean, that probably only cost, what, $20-$30?
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, someone in town, they had a Ford Ranger dually, and everyone in town was like, where did you, what? And then everyone just sort of made... J.C. Whitney.
He made that himself. It was I don't know if he had that J.C. Whitney version, but
and there's when I did the search for Ford Ranger Duallie, the second
it's a great
image
search.
The second image here shows it's a screenshot from a YouTube video. Come and swapping my Duallie Ford Ranger.
Oh
so
my
it's
gosh.
this is a red Duallie Ford Ranger that's rolling coal at the same time.
I mean, everyone, I recommend you just Google this right now and just spend a few minutes looking at the images that come up when you do Ford Ranger Duallie. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of these people like had a kit and how many of these people just said, I can do this. This is ridiculous. In the best way possible. It's ridiculous, these images.
Just take an axle from an F450 and bolt it to the back end of the Ranger.
Wow.
I think you just stuck something onto the tires. I don't think it was that. I think you're
the J.C. Whitney kit. That's probably what it was. It's probably just
the J.C. Whitney kit.
Actually, it's not even bolted on. They just had some like glue dots on one side of the rubber and they stuck it to the other side.
Yeah, I remember that person with the Ford Ranger Duallie. Everyone's like,
That's
"What
cool.
the?
That
Why?"
would be neat. If they actually you could do that, I bet there'd be a fair number of people that'd do that for kicks. They would. People want to buy the Slate because they want to mess around with colors and all the random you can do with the Slate.
How about a Slate Duallie?
How about a Slate Duallie? Somebody do that image. Somebody AI that and send it to me.
This Ford Ranger Duallie. Slate Duallie.
Slate Duallie. Somebody has to be able to
Who had
AI
that
Slate
Duallie? I can't remember.
Now you got to track it down. Robbie, you have a mission. You got to track down the dude that had this and see if somewhere he has an old faded picture.
I think they were just out of high school. It was one of those guys that was like 19, but still kind of hung around the high school. You know those guys.
Oh yeah, I do know those guys.
Yeah, those guys.
Some of them are still hanging around the high school. It's not quite right.
Yeah. They're like 20 years old and they show up at the high school like during lunch and they're like, "What are you doing, man?"
Oh my God, I remember those people. Yeah, did you ever? I don't think I went back to high school. Ever.
Oh gosh, just as soon as I got out of there, I never went back. I did a
couple of reunions, but they weren't even at the high school.
I went back for like I was in a punk band and the bass player was still in high school and I was like 21, so he was like 18, and so they had a battle of the bands. So I went back to my high school to play in the auditorium / gymnasium in a punk band.
/ band room / whatever it was for the moment.
So I was,
I mean, I guess that's okay. That was a battle of the bands. It's not the same thing as just showing up and being like, "Hey, I thought I'd stop by. How's it going?"
No, I never did that.
I'm glad to hear this, Robbie. I still have. It's good news.
I had literally anything better to do.
Yeah, anything but going back to high school.
So I tried Gemini and I asked it to create an image of a Slate with a Duallie rear axle, and it just gave me a picture of a Rivian R1T.
Yeah, that's about right.
Well,
there's
AI.
So I said, try again.
Where did I just hear an engine go by? Whose house was that? Or was that literally one of our laptops?
That was my house, sorry.
That was the sound of the Slate / Rivian / Duallie.
I know, the Slate Rivian Duallie has a V8 in it.
That's what you should call this show, the Slate Rivian Duallie. Everyone's going to be like, what?
Slate Rivian
what is
Duallie.
this?
We're making a Duallie for
what is this collab
Holland.
that's happening?
I don't. Yeah, it was.
So anyway,
weird.
now that we're talking about Slate Rivian Duallies, that was the F-150. I mean, it's a good truck. It does the trucky things you want. If you're looking for the off-road light version of the F-150 that's more affordable, more manageable in the cities, it's the one to do. It's the one. Sam, you're still trying to make pictures. I can see Sam's eyes, and he's like, "That's not what I want."
Yeah. Now it gave me. It created an image of a Silverado EV with 2 rear axles, so it's a 6x6.
Right now, you've increased everyone in your are's like electric bill by 1 kilowatt hour, 1 cent per kilowatt hour, and you've used more water than like you will use in a month. But to create a 6x6,
we have these great things that we've made now on AI.
It's horrible.
Someone's got to make one. One of you guys has to make one. I never do AI imaging. I've never played with it. I know you can do it. I've just never played with it.
You could just.
I know people who love playing around with it. I don't use Photoshop either. I hate managing picture stuff. Drives me crazy. Not my thing.
Not your jam.
Not my jam. But that's it. F-150 done.
Bam. F-150.
How much did
Ranger
it
Duallie.
cost?
Oh, I did say how much it cost, didn't I? I said
Yeah, it was like
I did.
60
It was,
something thousand.
Wait, let me bring it back up. Hold on.
65,
It was
64,
the base on the Tremor is 64,915. Mine had a. I almost said a word that I shouldn't. Mine had rather a lot of options on it. Holy cow!
Were you gonna say F ton of options?
Yes,
An F series ton of options.
It had an F ton. Nicely done. Here's a new guess. How much do you think the options were on this vehicle?
Oh, the one they gave you, probably like
15,000.
Almost nailed it, Sam. $15,430 worth of options, which included, all this.
So now it's an
Tremor
$80,000 car.
An equipment. Then there was the moonroof and the rear center step and a bed liner and the tonneau cover. How do you
Tonneau.
say it? Is it
Tonneau? I always get it wrong
tonneau
too, Nicole.
cover. But okay, so let's see if you can go 2 for 2. So you guessed the amount of the options. What was the destination on this?
I believe it's now $21.95.
Oh my God.
Robbie?
I said 18, but now I feel like I didn't go high enough.
$21.95. It was $19.95. You're right.
It was $19.95, but they've raised Ford raised the price. We talked about this last week or before.
Well, my
they raised the
particular
price
one.
Okay.
I have, and just I'd like to point out, I have a real actual Munich.
Yeah, well, when your particular truck. Okay, so we should make a rule. It's not what is the current delivery charge, but what is the delivery charge at the time that this particular vehicle was delivered.
Yes, when this was built and put into the media fleet, it was $19.95.
$19.95.
$15,000 of options.
$21.95. It's
That's
$2,000.
a lot.
I think I won.
I think you won.
I don't.
I'm
You
not
know
doing
who
that kind of
lost?
math on a
Consumers.
Sunday.
We all lose, really.
Yeah, that's the important thing. Who lost? Consumers.
Yeah, you were off by $19.95, and I was off by $2,000, so you won by $5.
$5.
Okay.
I was like, wait, did I win?
So you're each 1 for 1. You won
Everyone's-
on the option, Sam, and you won.
But we're
on
all
the
losers.
destination, Robin.
Remember.
Yeah.
But we're all losers because we're paying almost $2,000 for destination on a truck that came from not very far away to New
What is
Hampshire.
happening?
So,
Why is there lightning under just those two?
Well, just imagine if I had bought that truck. The
would've
plant
come
that built
10
that
feet.
truck is like 20 miles away from me.
I mean, oh my gosh, you just sent a picture.
The 6x6.
Yeah.
You need to put this up. You need to include this in the little images that you do for the show
Yeah,
and see if anyone goes, what the heck? And you can
I will
like,
put
a
it in
little
the show
asterisk.
notes. I already created the show art,
Ah,
but
dang
I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff for show.
Okay, so I tried ChatGPT. It says,
Oh, no.
create an image of a Slate electric pickup with a dual rear wheel axle. And what it did was create something that looks kind of like a Slate pickup, but it's a crew cab, which is actually what Slate should be doing anyway.
Is that what you sent me? Is that what this AI image is?
That was the prompt, yeah. But
This is the Silverado with
it's actually a Silverado with dual axles.
It's like the sleekest, it's all like every bit of angle to any metal on it has been wiped out. Whoosh. It's all very curvy. It looks like the vision of the future we had in 1980. Like everything's rounded in this. I mean, it's funky.
It's like, AIs just have no concept of what a dually rear axle is.
It doesn't know.
They
what
haven't
dually
trained
is.
it on that.
They trained it on everything else.
It trained on everything else we did.
There's not enough. You know what? There's not enough books about dualies. I guess I'll get on that.
It put some futuristic building in the background, like a bunker.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It looks like something out of the Avengers. You definitely have to share this picture with everyone because this might be the
I'll
best
put
image.
these both in the show notes. So if you're listening to this, go take a look at the show notes, and these will be in the show notes because
You get to see these and see if you can come up with a better
Slate
one.
is
I'd love
huge.
to next week.
This is like a full-size Slate. It's not even like a small. This is just a
doesn't know
truck.
what a Slate is.
Yeah.
Does it not understand what Slate is?
Apparently not.
Because these are way too big.
This is just a Silverado with a Slate
Yeah, that's
like fascia
exactly
between the headlights. That's it.
Okay, somebody do better than what Sam has done. Although this is entirely amusing.
Someone just
and I'm
open
glad
up
you did this.
Photoshop, throw a Slate in there, and make it a dually. It'll be.
Make it a dually. Make it
It's
happen,
literally
people.
much easier than trying to do what we're doing.
and then add a 20,000-pound trailer behind it with a fifth wheel.
Yeah.
I love
All right.
this. I feel
Slate
like we should be
Auto.
designing vehicles. All right,
You
that's
guys
enough
keep doing the
crazy with
podcast.
Ford.
I'm gonna put my
You're gonna do
my
some- you're
graphic
gonna come up with
design my graphic design thing to work.
Did you know you can support Wheel Bearings directly? Head to patreon.com/wheelbearingsmedia and you can become a patron today. Your contributions will help fund the platforms and tools we use to bring the podcast to you. And exclusives and improvements are already on the way thanks to your generosity. So if you want to be part of an automotive podcast like no other, head to patreon.com/wheelbearingsmedia. We've updated the Wheel Bearings merch store, and now there's a whole bunch of new choices, new colors, new styles, T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, hats, mugs, travel mugs, stickers, aprons, tote bags, you name it. You can get your Wheel Bearings merch at shop.wheelbearings.media. Go check it out. That's shop.wheelbearings.media.
So why don't we move to the car that, because your stuff was, especially the first one, Sam, totally competitive set.
Yeah, I mean, I had basically the same thing.
Right, no difference whatsoever.
I had the Lexus LC500 convertible, which is a lovely car. It is. This is what a grand touring car should be. You know, this is the definition of it. You know, it is not the fastest car, but it's a very quick car. It is lovely to look at. And it's something that you can take on a long drive. You will, compared to, say, getting into a McLaren or some. Okay, I just changed the prompt slightly in ChatGPT. It finally finished generating an image. I changed it from a dual rear wheel axle to just a dually axle, and it generated the exact same image.
So
I
no
give
changes
up for now.
You tried.
Anyway, compared to say taking a Lamborghini or a McLaren or a Ferrari for a long road trip, the Lexus LC is something that you can get in with your favorite companion, and just have a lovely, comfortable, fast drive. The one I had the bespoke package on it, which basically means you got a couple of paint options, and this one was silver with a red top, which is a really nice contrast. What else did it have on there? The engine is a 5-liter V8 engine with 471 horsepower. 10-speed automatic transmission. It's rear-wheel drive. I've driven the LC before, and actually a couple of years ago at the Mama Spring Rally, I actually had a chance to drive an LC 500 convertible on the track at Road America. And, you would not think, a big Lexus luxury convertible would be something that's well suited to the track. And it's not designed as a track car, but it actually works really well on the track. It's very well balanced. It's fast, and with the active sport exhaust that's on this one, when you get into it, when it gets to about 4,000 RPM, it opens up the active valves, and it sounds really good. It's not the kind of rumble you get from a Chevy small block in a Corvette, or like a Mustang, but it sounds really, really good. It's really a pleasure to drive. Fortunately, we had really nice weather when I had it here, so I had the top down most of the time. My wife and I went out. We went for a drive to go to this farm stand to get some native plants for the garden. Had the top down. It was fantastic. For some inexplicable reason, this is one of those cars where the manufacturer insists that it should have four sets of seat belts and seats in the back, even though
no one fits back there.
I'm about 5'10", 5'10 and a half, so I'm not that tall, and with the seat in my driving position, there is about an inch and a half between the back of the driver's seat and the seat cushion in the rear seat. Essentially, if you are fans of King of the Hill, Hank's dad, Cotton,
Cotton.
Somebody like Cotton is about the only one that could fit in this seat, in this back seat. There's like literally zero leg room back there. So it's like, come on, Lexus, why are you wasting the effort? Just make it a really nicely upholstered package shelf, which would actually be really useful because the other downside of the LC 500, and even to a slightly lesser degree the LC Coupe, is the trunk is really small. It's very shallow. So the trunk is so shallow that you cannot actually put a standard carry-on bag in there. You could put like a garment bag or a couple of half-packed duffel bags back there. I was able to put some small seedlings back there, but that's about it. That's about all you're going to get in the.
I bought a pack of seeds.
Yeah.
And some teeny tiny little
seeds. You can get a lot of seeds back there, but
I get so many seeds in the back of my.
But you can use that seat back. The seat in that the rear seat, is perfect for a couple of carry-on bags or a couple of small duffel bags. So that's literally the only thing the rear seat is good for. The rest, it's like don't even.
You could
bother.
put the dogs back there.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to put your dogs, in the
LC 500. It's too pretty.
Yeah, they'd be tearing up the nice leather. So yeah, you don't want to do that.
But you could.
You could.
Would they fit? Would your corgis fit back there?
Oh yeah, my corgis would fit back there. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't. They probably wouldn't be real happy though, because the belt line's fairly high, and you'd be sitting down. Basically, they're not going to see anything. It's going to be like being in a bathtub.
I love that you've evaluated the happiness of your dogs in the back. Not just will they fit, but is this a suitable vehicle? Will the dogs be pleased? The humans will like it, the LC 500 riding up front, but the dogs are going to be like, this is substandard. Where's my Subaru?
Yeah, precisely. That is precisely the way you got to look. I mean, if you're going to have dogs in your family, you have to consider their feelings too.
Yeah.
Dogs have feelings. They have emotions.
Why they have Subarus. They're
Exactly.
I still think the fact that Subaru makes things that actually are designed for their cars, like dog covers to protect like the side doors and things, so that when they put their paws up on the door, they don't scratch the interior door panels. I'm like, that is a company who knows its target market.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why I would not put the dogs in a car like the LC.
The LC.
The LC is a fantastic Grand Touring convertible. I would drive across country in this thing easily. No problem.
What color would you pick? Because it has some beautiful colors.
Ooh, the color that I had was the iridium, which is the silver.
Is like the white. Is it iridium? Oh no, wait.
It's white.
Yeah, it is silver.
Silver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's probably not the color I would choose.
What would you pick?
Let's see. Let me find.
Okay, I think I like this ultrasonic blue mica.
Oh yeah. I've seen that color.
That's pretty.
Yes, that's a very good color.
Ultrasonic blue mica. I think that would be it. Or I don't know, if I was trying to go a little less in your face, I might pick that nori green pearl with like a saddle colored interior. It has a very English vibe to it. I like that.
Let's see. I mean, the red, the infrared is really good. I've had that one before.
I love that they call black caviar.
Yeah.
That's
the
very
the nori green pearl is very good too, and the ultrasonic
a neat color,
blue.
Right?
I would probably go with any of those three really, but my first choice would probably be the ultrasonic blue, and then the red and the green.
Yep, I red and green would be my second. I don't know which one I'd go with.
Yeah,
one of each. How much is this car again?
Enough.
Like enough that two is not a big deal. Just
I mean, exactly, yeah.
Right? Get the colors you want. You can't decide, just buy one in every color that you like.
Yeah.
Depending on your mood, you drive a different, really fancy car, and save the Subi for your dogs.
There we go. Yeah, perfect. You've solved it.
I've solved the problem.
Yeah.
World peace is next.
The big change for 2025 was to the interior. Actually, I'm not sure if they did that for 25 or 24, but the LC was one of the last Lexi that still had the old trackpad infotainment controller.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was not good. So that's gone. That is officially in the history books. So they redid the interior. So you've got a new dashboard now, or at least a heavily revamped dashboard that now has a large touchscreen in the center with the latest Toyota Lexus multimedia system, which works really well. Same as all the other vehicles it's in. It's a good system. As I've said before, my only major complaint with it is that when you're using the standard Toyota software, you can't display two panes side by side on the screen at the same time. Like have your map display and your media controller display at the same time. Other than that, if you're using CarPlay or Android Auto, then you can have a multi-plane display, so it's not a big deal. The volume control, there is a nice big rotary knob on the center console, that's your volume knob. Nice big volume knob, very easy to get to. Give it a nice twist, you get nice precise control of your volume. But it's funny, on the passenger side of the console, there's like this little mini wall, that goes up that sweeps up from the console to the dashboard, and then it has a hole in there. So you basically have a grip. My wife asked me, so it's like, why is this here? And said, give you some place to hang on to when you're going through the curves. I don't know. It's not real clear why it exists. I'm not. It's possible that's a structural element that they put in there to give it a little more rigidity for the convertible. When you first get in the car and you sit down, it's like you look around and you can't see where it's like, okay, how do I put the top down in this thing? And at the towards the back end of the console, just in front of the cup holder, is there's a flap. You lift that up, and underneath there are two switches. One is for the top, to put the top up and down. All right, Robbie. Robbie has succeeded in creating a dually Slate.
The truck isn't very long. I would have had to extend it a little bit for it to work perfectly, but yeah. See.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's okay.
Look at that. And I didn't have to.
Actually, you know what? That's the one that truly does look like the most what you would think it would look like.
Yeah.
It's really a Slate.
Anyway,
10
the
minutes
two switches
in
there.
Photoshop.
One is to put the top up and down. It's a fabric top, but it's powered, and so there's a big panel behind the top that lifts up. The top folds down underneath there, and then it comes down, so you have a nice smooth cover over the top. So it doesn't look cheap like my Miata. And then next to it is a switch. When you put the top down, it drops all four windows. And when you put the top back up, there's only two window switches on the driver's door panel for the two main windows on the driver and passenger doors. There's no switches there for the rear windows, the little quarter windows that in the top. But the switch next to the top control just raises or lowers all four windows at once. So that's handy to have there. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy driving this car. It's a fun car. It handles really well, but it's also got a comfortable ride. It is a true Grand Tourer. And let's see, the bottom line price on this one was $117,055.
Oh my God, yeah, definitely buy two.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to buying, say, a Mercedes SL,
dualies with that,
a Mercedes SL or a BMW M8 convertible, it's a relatively modest price. So you want to guess at the delivery charge?
$1,600.
I'm gonna go $1,895.
Robbie gets it. It was $1,350.
Oh, I went way too high.
Yeah. Remember, with a lot of these import luxury cars, they don't bother trying to hide the price increases in the destination charge. They just put it right on the MSRP, and so the destination charges are more somewhat more reasonable.
A little bit easier to manage.
Yeah. All right. The other car that I had, which I had for less than 24 hours, and the only reason I had it was because I had to take some photos of it. Somebody else had written a review of it for a site that my company does some work for, but the photos were not satisfactory. And so I reached out to Hans at Navs and said, hey, can we get this car for a few hours or just for a day so we can redo the photos for the review? And so they sent it over. They brought it over on Monday afternoon, took it back Tuesday morning to deliver it to somebody else. It was the 2026 Cadillac Lyriq-V.
Ooh.
So this is the first electric V-Series car from Cadillac. It has all the things that we've liked or not about the Lyriq in the past, with more power, more tire, more brakes. It is what you would expect a V-Series Cadillac to be, a V-Series Lyriq. So it's the higher performance version. It does 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. It has about 615 horsepower. So basically, the Lyriq-V has the more powerful motors that they also use in the Vistic, which is the 3-row that's based on the Lyriq. And this one was the first Lyriq that I've had that has some of the other software updates. So the same stuff that we had in when we drove the Vistic in the spring with Super Cruise, where it will now follow some interchanges when you're in Super Cruise mode while staying hands-free. On Google Maps, it shows you when you're on a Super Cruise capable road with using navigation. It'll show you with a white line down the middle of the blue route line that Google Maps shows you. That lets you know that it's a hands-free capable road. Some of the other updates that they've done to Super Cruise, continuing to increase the number of roads where it's usable. Still same caveat. We've always talked about with hands-free systems, about whether it's even actually a good idea, but it has that. But when you turn that off and you get somewhere where you have a little bit of room, and you press the V button on the steering wheel and unleash all of the available power, boy, is this thing quick! It is. That. It's a quick machine. Quick enough that it is arguably too fast.
Wait a minute. Why do you say it's too fast?
I think for most people, for the vast majority of people, they do not need 3.3 seconds 0 to 60 acceleration.
You don't think?
Yep.
I think.
You don't think?
I think anything under 5 seconds is. Now, I like to drive fast. I am not opposed to performance. Mm-hmm. But I think arguably most people do not necessarily have the skills to handle this much performance. And realistically, this thing, it pushes you back in your seat. You get that instant acceleration that you get from an EV, and then it just keeps on going. It's just not necessary.
Yeah.
And it's not necessary, and also it's the thing where, and I mean, no one's giving this car to their kid, but there is the danger if you haven't driven things that are fast and you suddenly drive something that is fast and it's thrilling and it's exciting and you don't know how to control something that fast. Take it easy, folks. If you buy something really fast and you haven't driven that before, ease into the fun of it.
Even people who buy something fast and then they've driven it for years, they still don't quite. They're driving most of the time. You're just driving on a freeway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you're already doing 60, 70 miles an hour, and they're like, look at this, and you speed up, and your tires are already warm, and blah 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 blah. All the bits that they think that makes and of course the car is keeping you from dying.
Right.
To be honest, the car is like, you don't like, if you didn't have traction control, if you didn't have lane keep assist, like, you'd probably be dead. So you get this car, you're driving around, you're going quickly, and the problem is that for years and years, the event horizon for failure when things go wrong was like in 30, 40 miles an hour. Now it's around 90. So now the event horizon, the failure point where the car just can't keep up with your stupidity is at a speed that is incredibly dangerous. And so that's how you end up with people.
And when things go wrong at 30 miles an hour, the consequences are significantly less than when they go wrong at 80 or 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because kinetic energy goes up with the square of your speed. Mm-hmm. So if you go from 30 to 60 miles an hour, you now have 4 times as much kinetic energy. And so that's a lot of bad stuff that can happen at those speeds when things let go. A standard Lyriq will do 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds, which is more than fast enough.
Yeah.
That's plenty quick enough for
it's an interesting thing where you look at all of the numbers for cars. It's this many seconds, that many seconds. And your brain wants to say, well, 3.3 seconds versus 5 seconds. One is fast and one is slow. No, they're both really fast.
Yes.
Both very fast.
It's just because you're seeing those numbers jump. You don't realize how quick that actually is when you're behind the wheel of a car. Like, can you tell a difference? Sure, if you drive those cars all the time, but in the average day-to-day, are you noticing the 2 seconds? Absolutely not. But you have a lot more control when things are accelerating, not quite so much like they're on fire.
Yeah, when you're driving down a 2-lane country road, and you're behind somebody that's going 45 in a 55 mile an hour zone, and decide you want to get around them. When you pull out and you step on the accelerator pedal, in something like this, you will be going 80 miles an hour before you realize it, especially because of the fact that it's an EV and it's so smooth and so quiet that that speed creeps up on you very quickly. And
that's where the danger of it is, because even if you drive cars that are and I like this car, I'm not knocking fast cars, but that is kind of where the danger is, because your impulse is and has been that you need to get around somebody quickly. You mash the gas to do it, right? Like, I got to mash that pedal so that I can get around this guy in the time that I have, because he's a slowpoke and he's driving me nuts. And even if you're doing it in a legal spot and all these things, you're following all the rules. When you mash the pedal on a car that's just an average car, it's one thing. When you mash it on an EV or you mash it on something with this kind of power, it can get away from you if you're not paying attention. Your instinct is to mash it. So it is something that takes a little bit, like, you got to think a little bit, got to think just a little bit.
Yeah. But other than that, I do like this car. I like it. I've liked the Lyriq since the beginning. It still has, they've still not taken away CarPlay and Android Auto from the infotainment system, which is kind of surprising to me. But
it's not surprising. They read my article.
Okay. The Lyriq-V also adds the augmented reality heads-up display that debuted on the Vistic. So it's a multi-plane heads-up display. So when you're using that, if you're using navigation, you'll see your driver information hovering. It looks like it's hovering, roughly about where the end of the hood is, and then your navigation information, where it's telling you where to turn, will appear to be further down the road, and it looks like you'll have the arrow hovering over the place where you're supposed to turn. And as you get closer and closer, it gets bigger, and it looks like it's getting closer to you as you're approaching it. And it's actually a really useful feature. Although I had the hardest time remembering where to get into the settings to adjust the height of it, because when I first got into it, it was up too high. The near part was up too high, and it looked like it was getting cut off because of where my height versus the previous driver that had set it up, and I had a hard time finding the settings for that. But once I found it, then it was great. Lyriq-V's a really good mid-size luxury electric SUV. Actually, it's just a really good mid-size luxury SUV. regardless of what the powertrain is. And everything works really well on it. The V Series starts at $80,090. The Premium, which is what I had, which adds the Napa leather package and the panoramic power sunroof, bumps that up to $85,290, which is what was on the sticker for the one that I was driving. The total was $85,615 because it also had the radiant red tint coat and the red painted brake calipers, because that gives you just that little bit extra speed or something. So guesses at the destination charge?
$1,600.
$1,795, which I know is not going to be right.
Robbie goes 3 for 3 today. $1,395.
13. I'm just going way too high. I was scarred by the number on the F-150.
Yeah. That is kind of low.
Yeah, especially for
I was like, after I said 1,600, I was like, that's not enough. I'm doomed.
The Lyriq-V is rated at 285 miles of range. I didn't have enough time with it to do any kind of range testing, but the standard Lyriq, generally gets pretty close to what it's rated at. So I suspect that this one will be able to achieve that as well.
Cool. There you go.
All right, let us move on to the Honda Prelude.
Yes.
So this week, Honda released a bunch more images and some more details on the new Prelude. What do you think?
I like how it looks. I want pop-up headlights. I'm sorry, but I like how it looks.
Oh, yeah. Now I just want pop-up headlights. That was fine until Nicole said something.
Sorry, I ruined it for you because it had pop-up headlights once upon a time.
I'm a big fan of the Honda BRZ.
Yeah. The second and third generations of it had pop-up headlights. The first and the fourth and fifth generations they had fixed headlights.
I learned how to drive a manual transmission on a Honda Prelude that had pop-up headlights. And the reason I know this is because I was just so panicked about driving a manual transmission that every time I went to hit the turn signal, I would accidentally hit the wrong thing and I'd turn the headlights off. It's like bing, 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 bing. I have this memory. It's like, it's like panicking. I couldn't get my hand-eye coordination going in this vehicle. But that's how I learned to drive a manual transmission on my friend's, her husband's Honda Prelude. Yep.
So, the Prelude, they haven't released full specifications of it yet, dimensions and everything, weights. But, it has the 200 horsepower, 232 pound-foot, 2-liter hybrid powertrain from the Civic Hybrid that's also in the CR-V and the Accord. But it has, interestingly, the front suspension and brakes and adapters from the Civic Type R. Right now it's going to launch with 200 horsepower, but who knows? Maybe
that
at
makes
some
you
point,
feel like there's more in the works, right?
Maybe at some point we'll see a Prelude Type R.
We're speculating. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like the Prelude. I think, I always thought it was a neat car when it originally came out.
Every Prelude is a good Prelude.
Every Prelude, there's not one, right?
Let's hope they don't mess it up.
Except the ones with the pop-up headlights were slightly better because of the pop-up headlights.
I am always on the search for a first-generation Prelude.
See, there you go. So I love that.
I love that body style. It's just like a really tiny car.
My local Honda dealer here, Germain Honda in Ann Arbor, has a first-gen Prelude sitting in the showroom. I'm not sure if it's for sale, but there is one sitting in the showroom.
Did you hear the sigh? Robbie's like, it's out there.
There's a couple of them out there that are convertibles. The factory they delivered into a couple Honda dealerships. They were convertible Preludes, but they were like post. Honda hired someone essentially to make them into a convertible. And I saw one for sale, and I was just like, oh my gosh! I had zero monies at the time. I mean, it's not like I have money now, to be honest. I had less monies then. Like now, I could be like, okay, I could swing this. But,
I'm just excited that they're finally showing this as like, here's what we're going to build. Because it's almost 2 years, right?
It's been almost exactly 2 years.
Okay.
Because we first saw it at the Japan Mobility Show in October of 2023.
So we're right at the 2-year mark, and sometimes you get like when it debuted, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. This looks like this would be really cool. It looked production ready, like it wasn't too crazy, but you kind of thought like, well, it's been 2 years. Is it really happening, or did they just tease us or change their mind? But now they're saying production happening and sales by the end of this year. It's September. The end of this year is like a month away. We're in the Burr months. We're there.
Yeah.
So any minute now.
Yeah, and this is based on a Civic chassis, so we know the Civic hybrid drives really well.
Yes.
And all it is slightly shorter wheelbase. Like I said, they haven't released the dimensions yet, but comparing if you look at the profile images of this car versus the last generation Civic Coupe, it looks very close. It's probably about 5-6 inches shorter than a Civic sedan or hatchback.
It makes sense that it's based on the Civic too, because it was once upon a time the Accord, but the Accord was smaller back in the day.
Yeah.
So it made more sense. If you were to base this on the Accord now, it would be just weird.
Gigantic.
It would be gigantic. Yeah, it would just be way too big. I think it looks great. I think the dimensions look good. I'm excited about this. Even how the trunk opens.
It's a hatchback
car.
now.
Or hatchback, I should say.
Yeah,
how the hatchback opens.
Which is better.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a freaky looking. It looks really funky from the back, like when with the hatchback actually open, but it looks awesome. Like this car has some style. I'm excited.
Do it.
I'm excited for this car. I want it to, but then I get, it's always a little scary when you get too excited about something based on partial information and pictures, because then you fill in the blanks with what you want it to be, which doesn't mean that Honda's like in my head. It might not live up to those expectations. I think it will, though. I hope it will.
One other feature that they've added to this compared to the Civic is it's their first application of the S Plus shift system, which simulates manual shifting and rev matching, and provides some enhanced audio inside the cabin.
Grr.
Well,
Grr.
That's the scariest part. What is that grr going to sound like? Because sometimes you get enhanced on and you're like, okay.
Well,
like
in the Ioniq 5N, it's really good.
That's true. So maybe it's going to be good. It makes me nervous because some of them, not a Honda thing, some of them are not great. And you're like, can you turn off the sound of the dead squirrel that you think sounds like a cool engine? Can we make that stop? Like sometimes it's just not ideal. So I'm hoping that this one, I have high hopes, and based on how it looks and what they've said so far about what it's going to have, like you're talking about the possibility that we could, who knows, we have fancy brakes. Maybe we can get a brake package that's, maybe there's something cooler coming down the line. I think this has really great potential. I think this is a segment that people still want. There's just not super fun options. Pricing will be a giant question mark. Like,
I'm guessing the base price is probably going to be somewhere in the $36,000 to $38,000 range, based on the Civic hybrid sport touring hatchback starts at $33,500, and the Civic Type R is $46,000. So somewhere in the middle there, $36,000, $37,000, $38,000.
And it has to be in the 30s. I can't see them starting in the 40s, so I bet you're right. It has to be somewhere just above that Civic Sport Touring. So if that's $33,500, 36, 38 feels about right.
The Type R suspension and brakes, that adds some cost compared to the Civic, or compared to the regular Civic hybrid. So a few $1,000s extra to cover that. So in that 37, 38 range is probably where we'll see it. But now imagine this with the 310 horsepower turbo and 6-speed manual from the Type R.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Bam. Don't tease, Sam. That's mean. Now I'm getting my hopes up. Bam. We don't know what this is going to be. We don't know what it's going to cost. We don't know that. I'm really excited about driving this. I just love the look of it. I just love the old Prelude so much. And I know it's an entirely different, like that was a while ago. Hopefully it's not just like that because cars have come along, you know what I mean? But I want it to hold the spirit of the old Prelude with modern trappings is what I'm hoping for. And it looks like, from what they've said so far, because we're still a little light on details, from what they said so far, it looks like it's going to do that. So, like, come on, Honda, do this for me.
Do it.
Well, we'll find out more next month. I'm going to the Tokyo Motor Show, the Japan Mobility Show. And
so you'll find out.
We are going to get a chance to try this out while we're there.
Nice.
Lucky.
Oh, I can't wait to. Are they going to embargo it forever? Are you not going to be able to say anything for 12 years?
Well, I mean, it's supposed to go on sale, by the end of the year.
So maybe there'll be no embargo. Maybe we'll be able to say something right off. That would be cool. Although I feel like, as your colleague, when we go off the air, you could tell me what you think about it, even if you officially can't say.
You signed paperwork. Don't get him in trouble.
No. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
So a guy in Minnesota got ticketed this week, or recently, for having too loud an exhaust on his Charger Daytona EV.
Well, there you go.
Too
Wasn't it
loud
like
an
100
exhaust.
billion decibels or some stuff?
Public nuisance.
Yeah, but apparently, he's claiming that he wasn't even in sport mode. Didn't have the exhaust on, because you can turn it off. You can drive drive in stealth mode.
As I was reading this, I was assuming he had done some weird thing to it to give it, quote, an exhaust. He didn't.
No.
There was no weird thing. I thought there would be some weird modification to this to make it. No, it's just the actual stock vehicle?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can he fight that? Technically, it's not an exhaust.
Well, it is. I mean, the exhaust, it's based on how loud it is.
I guess.
And it's, if it's too loud, it's too loud. It doesn't matter if it's simulated noise or actual exhaust noise. And this does have that Fretsonic exhaust that, Stellantis claims, is as loud as the Hellcat was.
126 decibels.
Yeah.
That's irresponsible, to be honest.
Yeah.
My exhaust was way too loud and disturbing the peace.
I
love this. I tried telling him it's an EV and doesn't have an exhaust, and he stated he's not going to argue with me. I'm like, well, but it doesn't have an exhaust.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
he was driving in a group of people. Okay, so the confusion, the concern, the whatever, he wasn't just like cruising along all on his own. It looks like he was with a group of I lost it now in the story, with a group of other folks, like enthusiasts, like a group all driving that had, fancy cars and loud mufflers and all that. And somebody peeled away from a red light and was really loud. And the lead car was loud. And so he got pulled over, like as part of the pack. It almost kind of sounds like he wasn't quick enough off the line. He was 8 cars deep. So.
But also, the car will do 126 decibels. Which is about 40 decibels past you destroying your hearing. It's irresponsible. I'm going to keep saying that 126 decibels on anything coming from any sort of company that people will stand near or be near is irresponsible.
Decibels. What do you know? I'm looking at
anything over 70.
2020.
Anything over 70 is like really bad for your ears. Anything over 80 can cause potential long-term hearing loss.
And in most racing series now, race cars are limited by the rules to, I think, in the FIA WEC, the World Endurance Championship, I think they're limited to 100 decibels.
Yeah.
So, and this is more than that.
And that's for a race car. Now, again, this guy claims that he did not have the Fretsonic exhaust on. But the fact that the officer was not even willing to discuss it. Said didn't care that it was an EV.
It was too loud.
Yeah.
So I just looked to see because I was curious, and I was doing some Googling. It says the average production cars in 2025, based on what it could find, are from 49 to 60 at 55 miles an hour. So if you're mashing it, it could change. So, and what did you say this car is? What's the decibels on the?
In track mode, it'll do up to 126 decibels.
Jeez, so that's more than double what the average.
Well, but it's worse than that because the decibel scale is logarithmic.
So
it goes.
It's like, yeah,
going up by 10 decibels is actually 100 times louder.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Wow, that is loud. I thought, how it seems loud. Getting a comparison, and this has a breakdown where it's showing, mainstream vehicles versus luxury vehicles versus, oh my gosh, the high end on the average is 60. This is more than double that. That's loud.
Yeah.
Much like the speed. We are approaching unnecessary territory here. We've approached and covered the line, dove into unnecessary noise.
Again, irresponsible. That's as someone who has to deal with loud noise all the time, like on stage or in band practice.
We heard the car that just came by. Came by you earlier. That totally. It sounded like it was like your windows open and you have the mic out there, and you're like, no, that wasn't my house.
Just down the,
I'm walking my dogs in the neighborhood every day, and when cars drive by, most modern cars are very, very quiet. Anything under 50 decibels, you almost don't hear it until it's right next to you.
Yeah.
So, the car is certainly capable of being very loud, but it's, as I said, the driver claimed that it was not at the time. So, if you are driving something like this, be aware, if you're driving in town, driving around other people, don't do this. Don't put it in track mode.
No.
Because, the reality is, most law enforcement officers probably don't know or care about the distinction.
Right.
They're going to give you the ticket regardless, whether you have
even if it's going to be, it's technically not an exhaust. It's like you're still noisy. You're still breaking the noise ordinance,
Yeah. That's now you're splitting. It's like when my car stereo wasn't my exhaust. You're still making the noise, man.
Yeah.
You're still making,
exactly.
It is very much
still too loud.
Doesn't matter how the noise was generated. It's still noise.
It's the dude riding down the street in his Harley and revving his engine. Someone once asked me, do they have to rev their engines? I'm like, well, yeah, since the mid 80s do they have to rev their engines? They don't need to rev their engines. They just do. Because look at me. Mm-hmm. And that is, Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, wait, do they have to keep the... No, they don't. No. They have to depress the clutch, twist their right hand. Boom. Blop, 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 blop.
So quiet it down and slow down, people. Now we're all 80 by the end of this podcast.
All right. The IAA Mobility Show is officially starting tomorrow as we're recording this, so Monday, in Munich, Germany. Unfortunately, none of us are there this time. I was hoping to be there.
I'm going to Nissan.
That's what I will be this week.
Hey, we're all going to Nissan.
I'll be there tomorrow. I'm flying out tomorrow.
Yeah, so am I. Sam,
I'll see you guys at dinner. We'll overlap. I fly out Tuesday.
Yeah. So anyway, we've seen a bunch of the cars that are going to be unveiled there, and unlike most auto shows here in the U.S. now, there are actually new products and concepts and stuff that are being shown at the IAA show, and there will be a bunch of stuff at the Tokyo show next month as well. So first up is Audi. They revealed the Concept C, which is kind of a next generation TT. They discontinued the old TT a couple of years back, and this is a new electric sports car from Audi. What do you think of the design?
All concept drawings? Are any of these actual pictures? They look very concept-y of this car.
I think
they look very sketchy, not like sketches.
No, this is actually what the car looks like.
This is all.
Yeah. Darn it, I just downloaded all the images instead of just looked at them.
Don't you hate it when that happens? Enjoy your 85 images of the Audi's Concept C. Parts of it I like, parts of it I do not. The grille is really kind of weird. It's this very narrow, pointy, long. It looks like
it's like a long vertical rectangle.
It's like the vertical infotainment screens you have on some cars, and they just stuck it on the front. I'm okay with how this looks. I don't love it. I don't love it, guys. Do you love it?
I like it. It reminds me of Batman, the animated series. So there you go.
Okay. Well, if it comes with like caltrops, you can send out the back of it and an ejection seat and all the other things, and I'd be down with it.
I like most of it. I'm not totally enamored with the front, but this is apparently the look that the new design look that Audi's going with for their next generation of vehicles. It's kind of reminiscent of the 1930s Grand Prix cars, Audi Grand Prix cars, or Auto Union Grand Prix cars, which had this sort of vertical, almost rectangular
it's an Art Deco
grill.
look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not keen on the front of it. I like how it looks from every other angle. I think the grill is throwing me a little bit. The inside looks nice. I mean, the interior is nice. That very nice, clean, simplified interior that everyone's going for. Funkiest door handles. At least I think that's a door handle. It like points down. That is a funky looking door handle on the inside. I actually really like that interior. The interior looks very cool, future, different. And that's a lot of the
physical controls in that inside though. It's all
No, you can't. So we're gonna have infotainment screen AC vents. Sam, is that what you're trying to tell me? You think
that's what it looks like? Yeah.
It's a concept. Well, we can talk them into it. I'll make some calls.
Make a call or two. See what you can do, Robbie, because that's going to be my deal breaker. But I do like how I think the interior actually really looks fabulous, and I like all of it. That grill in the front. I don't know if it's going to look different when I see it in person, but here I'm not keen on the grill. I even like how the design of the front of the car goes, like the angle it takes to the grill. I just don't want it so long and skinny, the grill itself. That's it. Change that, then you have me.
So apparently, this car, the production version of this car, is sharing its platform with the new Porsche 718 EV. So that's the Boxster replacement. They're both going to be electric, and this should be arriving around 2027.
So we've got at least 2 years before we see this.
Yeah,
at least 2. So we'll have to see how close it stays to this in 2 years.
And I guess a big part of the focus they talked about was speeding up the development time. They're trying to get to the same kind of product development times that they have in China, which is about 2.5 years from the traditional, 4 to 5 years to do a new product.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see what they come up with, right?
Yep. So next is BMW, which has shown off the first production model from their new Neue Class EV platform, which is the new iX3. And it's basically the car that they first showed as the Vision Neue Class SUV, or Vision Neue Class X, I think, a couple of years ago in 2023. They had two concepts. They had the Vision Neue Class, which was a sedan, which is going to be the new electric 3 Series, and they had the SUV, which is this vehicle, the iX3. This looks like a huge step forward in EVs for BMW. It's the current BMW electric platform is already really good. Their motors are very efficient. They get good power, good performance, decent range, and this one takes it to the next level. So they've got new motors on here. It's an 800-volt architecture. The battery is using larger. They've switched from prismatic can cells to 46 millimeter cylindrical cells. I think I think on the iX3 they're 46 120s, so they're pretty long but larger. So they're longer than the 4680 cells that Tesla uses, but the same diameter. It's with the 800 volt architecture. They're claiming it can do 400 kilowatt charging, which is obviously not nearly as fast as some of the Chinese are claiming with their megawatt systems. But it'll go from 10 to 80% charge in 21 minutes. It will add I think 250 miles, 220 in 10 minutes. The first version, the eDrive 50, according to BMW, should get about 400 miles of range on a charge based on the EPA cycle. So that's not a WLTP number, that's EPA. So that's what it should be getting here in the U.S. when it launches here towards the middle of next year.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I really like about BMW, because their first, their last generation, I guess current generation of EVs, they weren't using permanent magnets, and everyone's like, oh, you can't do that because the car won't be as efficient, the car won't have as much performance, and then BMW's like, yeah, we'll figure it out, and they continue with the using the electrically excited synchronous motors, which don't have rare earth permanent magnets in them. So, they don't have to worry about that, that sort of that supply chain that, it comes from China and China owns it and they control it. And so everyone else is sort of like beholden to what, China or somewhere else is doing. And BMW's like, no, we can still figure this out. We can still make a very efficient and performance oriented car without permanent magnets, which is good. Thumbs up to their engineers for doing that.
Yes. German engineering for the win.
Yeah.
It's the iX3 50 xDrive, the launch version. It's going to have dual motors, 463 horsepower, and it's supposed to start at around $60,000. Again, this is for the U.S. That's actually pretty impressive.
That is really good.
Yeah.
It's still a BMW.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a BMW, so you're not expecting it to be a cheap car to begin with, you know? It's a performance luxury brand. You're expecting to pay a premium for it. The technology in this, what they've done with the batteries, the battery, everything in there looks and sounds like a great deal. The car itself looks fantastic. They've changed up the grille. I like what they've done with it. The styling I think is better than what they've done with vehicles lately. I like this much better.
You just like the smaller grille.
I like the smaller grille.
They finally listened.
They listen. Like, I appreciate it, but it's still very different. Like, I've been reading online people's reaction to this, and it is quite hot or cold on how the grill looks. Like, some people
I think it's a lot better.
I think it's better, but other people think that it's too narrow because there was the sort of like the what's the word for this grill? Kidney grill? Is that what they call it?
Kidney grill. Yeah.
And it's very vertical right now, and at times it's been more horizontal, the two kidneys, and this is very
the
vertical
sedan,
kidneys.
the i3 is going to get a more horizontal layout. Mm-hmm. So they're going with this to distinguish between the SUVs and the cars.
And I think it looks great. I think it's a good, but even I just think it's I think they've done a good job. I think it looks good. I think it stays true to the brand, but it moves it away. Excuse me, from something that a lot of people really didn't like. It wasn't just me who thought the old girls were just a little bit too much giant beaver teeth looking at you. So I think that I think it's good. I think they've done a good job where they're like, nope, that's still a signature part of our design story, but it's in a new interpretation and it looks considerably better. And considering the car is so different, all what's underneath there, all the technology, everything underneath is different too. It's a nice way to bring that in with a new look to that kidney grill.
And just for comparison's sake, the current 2026 X3 M50 xDrive cost $72,000. This is supposed to start at $60,000.
Right?
Yeah, so it'll be cheaper than the gas one, and probably have similar or better performance.
Oh, totally. Mm-hmm. Off the line, especially, it's going to be quicker.
So are we going to talk about the other tech, the other story you have about the BMW that goes along with this? Because I think this is cool.
So, for several months now, BMW has been teasing out various information about the technology in the Neue class. And, they've talked about the fact that it's going to have a zonal electronic architecture, which means that, they're going from having 100 plus distributed electronic control units around the vehicle to a consolidated system. And this one is going to have 4 centralized compute units, one of which controls all the ADAS, driver assistance, automated driving features. And this is one that they first announced partnership with BMW, or BMW announced a partnership with Qualcomm back in 2022, I think, 21 or 22, to work together to use the Qualcomm Snapdragon Ride chips and work together on the software. So they're doing all the driver assist and automated driving stuff in-house between BMW and Qualcomm, and they call the whole system Snapdragon Ride Pilot. And when they first announced it, they said that we're going to put it on BMW vehicles first, but we're going to offer it. We're going to make it available to any OEM that wants to use it. So they will sell it to other manufacturers if they want to use it. And this one is going to have hands-free driving capability, which has been somewhat limited on BMW models up to this point. And it's a whole new system. I'll be interested to try it out and see how good it is. Qualcomm had, before their partnership with BMW, they had been working with. Originally, it was with what was there was a joint venture company between Volvo and Autoliv, a supplier, Zenuity. And then Autoliv pulled out of that, and they split it up, and Volvo took part of it in-house for their own software work that they were doing. The other part became part of Veoneer, which had been spun off. It was the electronics business that was spun off from Autoliv. And then when Veoneer went up for sale, Qualcomm bought it to take the software component that they'd been working on with them, which is called Arriver. So this is the vision perception component of the driver assist software. And then they sold off the rest of the electronics business to I think most of it went to Magna. So the Arriver software, they brought that to BMW, and they built on that to build the full driver assist software stack that launches on the iX3, and it'll be coming to other BMW models over the next couple of years as they launch. So it's a whole new software system. I had a chance to try it out a couple of years ago, an early version of this on one of Qualcomm's test vehicles, and it worked pretty well. But that was before they had the stuff that they were doing with BMW, and that system was just using the cameras. It wasn't using the radar yet. So the system that they're going into production with is a multi-camera, multi-radar solution, kind of like what you find with Super Cruise and Blue Cruise and other systems.
Cool. Still don't know what to do with my hands.
I know, it's funny. You look at the picture of the woman in the image, and it's like she has her hands perfectly placed, like one on each thigh.
Her thigh.
Because try and sit that way for 1 second at your desk right now. That is in no way natural.
This is how I sit now. This is how you sit when you're just sitting in the waiting room of the doctor's office, and they don't have any magazines, and they've taken your phone.
But you can't even cross. She doesn't even put one hand on each thigh and just sit. Does that feel even remotely like a normal way to sit? No, it feels weird. You want to put your hands on an armrest or something. It's
just hold them up.
What do I do with these?
Just hold them up in front of your face.
Just hold them like this.
Speaking of which, what do you think of the interior of the iX3? It's got this pillar-to-pillar heads-up display system that at the base of the windshield, and then a big screen in the middle. There's it's funny. I was noticing the screen because it's very angular. It's like a parallelogram
angle.
Or
yeah, what is it?
parallelogram?
Parallelogram with even with a choppy little corner. Like it's the most designed screen I think I've seen, where it's not just like it fits the design. They've put little angles on it to make it fit to just like. There's no reason to do those little choppy angles. There's no reason to do that angle other than just like we thought this would look good in the car. So I think it's kind of neat. Screens are normally so boring. There's just these, slabs in the front. I think it's kind of cool that they gave it a little bit of a design. And the across the dashboard, that part of it, it makes me think of the stuff they're doing in Lincoln, the Lincolns that have that giant. Although this looks
the Lincoln
thinner.
is like the whole thing is the screen.
It's the whole thing. So they don't. Yeah,
this is tinier, which is like okay. I appreciate it's tiny, but also what's going on the right hand side, I don't care.
Right? Yeah. Like
it's a lot of much. That's some wasted screen space.
It looks much thinner to me, and it could be just the perception in the image. It looks slim.
I've had a couple of different demos over the last couple of years from different suppliers showing this type of screen. Both Morelli and Harman are building this type of display, and I'm not sure which one BMW is using. I think they might be using the Harman system. But they're both pretty similar in the way they work. So it's actually like heads-up display technology, but because it's at the base of the windshield, and it's the base of the windshield kind of below the edge of the hood, so you're not actually losing any visible area. So the top of the dashboard is lowered down a little bit, so it's not taking away from any of your windshield visibility.
Right.
But it's a heads-up display technology within this strip that's about 3.5 inches tall.
Because some of them, like I don't know, it feels much bigger than like something like the Lincoln. It's much wider. That's a pretty wide piece.
The Lincoln and Ford system is much taller than this one.
Right. This is noticeably narrower, which makes it honestly look like it fits a little bit better.
This is more of a dash cluster is what they're going for.
Yeah,
versus the Lincoln system, which is like this is your infotainment system, and then way down when you have to look way down to see that second display. Whereas this one, the main display is where you don't have to look down, and then they have this instead of heads up.
There's
display.
No really low screen on this.
Yeah,
there's a sort of a normal spot screen for the infotainment. It's where you would expect the infotainment screen to be, just to the right.
And it's actually very close to the steering wheel. It's like right next to the steering wheel.
Yeah. It looks close.
Yeah.
Does it go behind it a little, or
it is behind. It's in a separate plane behind.
Okay.
So you're not gonna wrap your knuckles as you're turning the steering wheel.
Smack. But I like how this looks. I think this is kind of neat. This whole thing I like how they've done that. I really like how BMW is doing all this. Like I like where they're going. I like the technology they're incorporating here with Qualcomm, where it's making the automated driving and the level 2 self-driving, not driving, driver assist, whatever the heck you want to call it.
Hands-free driver assist.
Hands-free driver assist. Thank you. I'm like, well, use the right term. The hands-free driver assist. I definitely think this is it. Like I was saying about the car, it's moving everything forward. The design is moving forward. The tech is moving forward. In fact, in how it looks inside, the tech is moving forward with things like the Qualcomm chips that are making this, the Snapdragon chip that makes it better to do for these hands-free self-driving things. This is pretty neat. This is an interesting vehicle that just moves everything forward a little bit. All the things. Normally you see a vehicle and it moves one thing forward. Like the design is dramatic and everything else gets a little touch. Or the tech is dramatic, everything else gets a little touch. This is a lot at once. It'll be interesting at some point. Hopefully I get to drive one and see how it is. So I think it's going to be cool.
What do you think of the steering wheel design?
The steering wheel, let me go back to the image. Steering wheel design. I mean, it's a little, it's different. It's kind of like the Squircle thing.
It really makes you do 9 and 3. That's its job.
It's going to force you to, because there's no way you could put your hands up on that wheel. It would be weird.
Here's the problem with 9 and 3. For me, because I have big hands, so when I do 9 and 3, I start hitting all those little controllers with my hand.
Yeah. But Robbie, I have the same. I have like 5'6" woman sized hands, and I do the same thing. I tend to hit things
beeping, and
especially if there's a touchpad on those at all. Who is it? Does Mercedes have touchpads? I hit them all the time, and it's accidentally I'm doing things. I'm like, why? Why is the radio station changing? Why is the volume going up? What did I touch? And it's because I hit those little pads, especially when you turn the wheel, because your fingers shift a little bit. Yeah. So it is hard. And I'd imagine more so because your hands are bigger. You're more likely to do that. And I do that. And it drives me crazy.
Well, the other thing that's different about this wheel, a lot of times, you'll find steering wheels that have spokes at 9 and 3 and 6, so down from the bottom. But this one also has one that's going up at the top at the 12 o'clock position.
It looks freaky. It looks
a
kind of
little
weird.
odd.
It's odd, but it doesn't bother me. As weird as it is, it doesn't bother me in the context, like when you just look at the whole thing. Look at the screen, the steering wheel by itself, and you're like, well, that's different. But if you look at it in the context of the entire interior of the vehicle and how the entire vehicle is designed and sort of the changes that they've made, I think it's an interesting spot to put some detail into it, because it's not even just a flat piece. Like, it's got sort of these cutouts on either side of that little piece.
Like fancy scaffolding.
Like fancy scaffolding. So it becomes a design element. Like, it's exactly what I was saying about the screen. All the little cuts, the angle of the screen, the little cuts in the steering wheel, the angles in the steering. It creates a design element out of something that could be really dull and boring. It just needs to be there. They make it design and make it, the interior, the whole thing, look a little bit more cohesive.
Do you notice what's missing from this dashboard?
Vents.
Yeah. No manual vent controls.
You keep pointing this out and just making me sad.
Well, you know
stop.
what? We need to make the automakers sad that they're doing this. That's why I keep doing it.
Apparently they think it's a good idea.
Well, it's not. It's a bad idea, and we need to keep reminding them and keep reminding them. And
every time I reach out and I grab a vent in a car that is a physical vent. I'm very conscious of it now. I think I do adjust the stupid vents all the time.
Constantly.
I really do. Constantly, it's something I just move a little bit. I'm too cold. I want it, or too hot. Whatever. I want a vent that I can physically touch. Dang it.
Well, just now I'm sad none of us are going to IAA, so we can sit there and corner someone and be like, why?
Why do you not
don't put this into production without the vent controls?
Oh, gosh, I do not like that feature when they do that. And only the Kia folks were like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Off the record.
Well, Kia and Hyundai, and there's others. Even at Ford.
I've only ever asked one OEM directly that didn't do it. Like, why didn't you? This is stupid.
Why would
okay.
This is dumb.
All right, let's move on to Porsche. Porsche had a couple of things that they're showing. They've got the new 911 Turbo S, which is, as if it needed to be faster. It's even faster now.
It's faster.
Yeah. They added the hybrid system from the 911 GTS to the Turbo. And so now it has 701 horsepower. The fastest production 911 yet.
And I'll still get stuck behind them on a mountain road while driving a sedan because the people who can afford them don't know how to drive the car.
Yeah.
There you go.
0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. It's, again, crazy fast. 61 horsepower more than the previous Turbo S, thanks to the hybrid system. It's capable of going really, really fast, and most of the time it will be wasted.
Oh yeah, it's going to cost. Let's see, the coupe is $270,000, and the cabriolet is $284,000. Dollars, people. That's like a house. You can buy a house, or you can buy the new 911 Turbo S and then drive it very slow, and then I end up behind you in something boring, and you won't let me go around you because you've spent so much money on this car. There's no way in hell you're going to let Robbie buy you in the Nissan
Your
Kicks.
Kona?
The Kona.
You created quite a backstory there.
Yeah. No, yeah. But, if you're rich and you know how to drive, this is a great car.
The other thing that Porsche is showing is the upcoming Cayenne EV. Right now, they're not fully revealing it. Well, they've fully revealed it, except it's wrapped in camo. So it's sort of kind of hidden.
Disco camo.
It's disco camo.
It's more 80s, actually. It's more 80s camo.
Yeah, they used a similar type of camo.
Oh, it is
a few years ago when they first showed the VW ID7 at CES. They had it wrapped in a similar kind of camo then.
Okay, this looks like Tron.
Yeah, it
There we
does.
All I can see is Tron looking at
It's a
those
black
cars.
base with turquoise and purple and pink. But
When you drive, a little light comes out behind, and if a car goes over it, it explodes.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool, right? Sorry.
but the thing that is really kind of unique is they are going to offer the Cayenne EV with an optional inductive charging system.
You
So
know
you
what
don't
standard
actually
that
have to
is?
plug it in.
SAE standard J2954, yo.
Well done.
Which means that if there were any other vehicles out there with a compatible thing, they would be able to use the same charging pads.
So the standard is so I know Mal. I went to Germany. What's funny is that I went to Germany to try out the test. I have a whole video. I'll send it. We can put it in show notes.
Oh, did you actually see this? The Porsche?
Oh yeah, I've driven it. It's like so the standard. The part of the standard that I went and saw was the how to to get it to drive and land on top of the vehicle. Like
to be in the right spot.
Yeah,
so
to
that
be in the
you've
right
lined
spot.
up properly.
But it charges at 11 kilowatts. The vehicle now, I believe Porsche. How tall is Porsche's? I think it's like 2 to 6 inches or something.
4 to 6 inches.
4 to 6 inches. The actual standard or the one we will go up to 11 inches. And it's still
so you could do something with okay.
Yeah, and what's interesting is it'll do it through ice. It'll do it through like leaves. It'll tell you if there's something metal. So it won't do it through metal. So it'll actually tell you when there's metal there. It's actually quite impressive. And what it allows for is if you embed these in parking lots, you don't have to have the wire, the cable, the whole thing for AC charging, which is kind of nice. So you can increase AC charging out in the wild. So at the mall, when you're not on a trip, you could just park your car and go inside and do whatever.
So how did they say, or did you learn, Robbie, how much does something on the ground in between you and that plate that impact? Like if there's snow, a little bit of snow, a little bit of water, like does it have to be a lot of dirt? Like how finicky is it? That's what I'm thinking.
They bought leaves. They bought. It really comes down to like metal. Like it'll go through a lot of stuff.
So it's really just metal. So it'll go. Because I'm thinking about how dirty the bottom of your car gets, like in the winter and stuff.
Yeah.
Or just dirt and mud and leaves get stuck to it and all the stuff that can blow over something
It'll
like that
work
if
through
it's sitting
all
in a
that.
parking lot.
It's really quite impressive the way it does.
The only things you
cool.
don't want in there are metal or anything that's alive.
Alive, yeah, nothing alive. It also
What
like
happens
if there's
if a squirrel ran? Wait.
It also tells you if there's a squirrel. It won't. It'll melt
what if
them.
it's like
probably.
you're charging and a squirrel runs under your car?
It turns off.
Goner?
It'll
shut off?
It'll shut off.
It's like it'll immediately shut off?
Yeah.
You're not gonna have like
Same
a
thing
dead
if someone
squirrel?
throws a bolt on there and it'll shut off. Yeah.
It would immediately shut off. So
Yeah.
no metal that would suddenly make things go sideways and you're not killing small animals.
Yeah, like cats will go under cars to stay warm. And,
Yeah.
Can,
well,
can you
also
put an
but
exception in there for mice?
No, it'll still shut off. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry that
You want to kill the mice.
you want to kill.
No, but
I just
Wow.
don't want them
Thinking
getting
like
up in the wiring and eating the wiring.
chipmunks or squirrels that run under cars, just sitting in, sitting there. They just run around everywhere. They're wild animals. Okay, I had a moment of panic. I'm like, wait, are we killing small creatures?
No, we're not killing.
Did Porsche say anything about who's producing this system?
So so here's the thing. As I went to Germany to Mahle, Mahle,
Male?
Mahle. So they showed me their setup. They, the test vehicles. I parked the little test vehicles over the car. Made a whole big video about it. And then while I was in Germany, I contacted Porsche and said, "Hey, I would love to talk to the head of powertrain for the Taycan." And they gave me access to the person. Very nice guy. And so I have a video of that. But I didn't realize that Porsche was working on wireless charging at the time. Because they wouldn't have told me, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it was just happenstance that I was in Germany to do this thing about wireless charging. Then because I was in Germany, I went and I got a Porsche and I drove it around and I talked to their head of powertrain and so this is I think it'll like everything, it's going to take a little while to get it out. I remember BMW had their box, their little system that
Yeah, they were using a system from Witricity that they piloted for a while, and Genesis was using the same system that they offered in Korea for a while on the GV60.
So yeah, no, it's really cool that the standard is because now you have a standard. That means everyone can do this. Everyone can start adding this to their vehicles. And again, I think for home charging, it's great. But I think for charging at places where you're parked for a long time, movie theaters, the mall or whatever, even going to the grocery store. If I could go to the grocery store and just pull into a spot that had EV charging, and I didn't have to do anything. And it gave me 5 miles, 10 miles or whatever while I was in there buying,
boost.
taco supplies. That'd be great. Because then every time you're going to do an errand, you're charging up your vehicle. So I'm a big proponent of more and more AC charging. I'm not a proponent of wires just sitting in the street. I think we either have to do wireless or bring your own cable like they have in a lot of European countries. Yeah, I did a video about that too while I was there. Man, I did a lot of stuff in Germany that time.
Yeah, make sure you
make good
put
use
that
of the trip.
Put that link to the video in the rundown, and I'll put it in the show notes. It looks like this might be the Molly system. One thing that's interesting about this one is they're referring to it as a one box system. So most of the previous systems I've seen, there's a wall box that you have to install, and then you've got a cable that comes down, runs through a conduit across the floor to the transmitter pad that's on the floor. And this one has everything self-contained within that transmitter pad. All you have is one cable that you just basically plug it in, and then everything else is within this box. So should make installation a lot easier.
Yeah, that's in the video. Also, they have do I have any photos? No. In the video, they also show the inside of what the box looks like inside, and the whole team is there. And they were I travel a lot for these videos, and sometimes I'll go all the way to another country, and I'll get there, and they'll give me 5 minutes with the car. And I'm like, you put me on a plane and brought me all the way here, and you're giving me 5 minutes. I can't drive. I can't do anything. The Molly people, outstanding. They had the whole day set aside. They had multiple cars. They bought leaves. They bought ice. They bought all these things to show how it worked. I
appreciate, because that literally was my question. Wait, what about all this other stuff? They were ready for a person like me to be prove it.
They had a spot where it was shaded so the light wouldn't change. Yeah. All through the day. They're like, oh, we have this spot. It was great. It was amazing. Also, they have the food in their cafeteria was very good.
Side note.
Did they have tacos?
They did not have tacos.
Schnitzel tacos?
They did not have, unfortunately, no tacos, but they did have, delicious German food, which I'm a big fan of. I'm happy to see that this is coming out on a production vehicle, and someone, and you'll be able to do this, and then hopefully more and more automakers will start adding this to their vehicles. And
I'll be curious to see how much they charge for it. Because that's been one of the challenges with wireless power transfer systems up until now, is that they add $3,000 to $5,000 to the cost of the vehicle.
They're not cheap. For the foreseeable future, you still have to have wired charging as well. At some future date, when wireless is ubiquitous, and you can get rid of the connector, that would be great. But you're adding potentially a significant amount of cost. And of course, Porsche's putting this on the Cayenne, so it's not going to be a cheap car anyway. Yeah, you're already paying monies. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. And, and obviously this vehicle still has an AC charging port, so you'll still have that.
Yep. All right, Volkswagen, last up at IAA. We already talked about Audi, but the Volkswagen brand is changing its naming strategy for its EVs because, ID2, ID3, ID4, ID5, 6, 7, etc., etc. Those just make so much sense, right? They're so memorable.
What did ID even stand for?
I don't know. I don't know. I forget. I'm sure there's a reason.
I'm going to Google that. Now that we're talking about naming, I'm like, oh, wait. The designation ID stands for Advanced Technologies and Electric Mobility. That does not. Those words are not that. It literally is in their release. It says the designation ID, you would expect it to make sense, stands for Advanced Technologies and Electric Mobility. That's not
it's an alphanumeric naming scheme. It's not supposed to make sense.
Yeah.
It's like, Mercedes and their EQ. Just no.
I think that actually means something, though, isn't it?
I don't know that I've ever heard anybody from VW articulate what ID, if it stands for anything.
Mercedes.
Oh, the Mercedes. It's electric something, but whatever.
Okay. So I found a Volkswagen dealership, and it says it stands for Intelligent Design.
All right, fine.
It's from a random dealership.
Yeah, who knows?
That's good enough.
That's all I got.
Well, anyway,
At
the 2023 Munich show, VW showed a concept called the ID2 All, which was a small hatchback, smaller than a Golf, although still larger than like probably a third or fourth generation Golf, but smaller than a current generation Golf. And they said at the time that they were going to produce that car, and they've unveiled the production version of it, but they're ditching the numbers in the ID naming. So for the electric versions of their cars, it's just going to be ID and then whatever name. So in this case, because this is a car about the size of VW Polo, it's the ID Polo.
See, that makes sense.
And when there's a new electric Golf, I think next year, it's going to be ID Golf. So they're just going to tack on ID to whatever name they're already using for the car.
To show that it's an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a shame that we will probably never see the ID Polo.
We will not.
These are all things that we're not going to see. I'm like, look at this crazy little ID Polo and its little funky.
We don't get the regular Polo, so we're definitely not getting an ID Polo.
We're definitely not getting this one.
It's really cool if you're in Europe and you see a Polo, you're like, oh, look at this cool little car. You can think of a little Polo R.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Or the Polo GTI.
Yeah.
And there is going to be a GTI version of the ID Polo.
Of course there is.
Wait, that's a lot of letters.
Yeah.
ID Polo GTI, what?
So VW has created an updated version of their MEB electric architecture that they've taken cost out of it. They've updated it. It's lower cost to manufacture now. And this is the basis for the ID Polo, as well as another new model that they are showing as a concept in Munich called the ID Cross concept, which is a slightly taller crossover-ish version of the ID Polo. The ID Cross is actually pretty cool looking.
It does look pretty cool. It's like a nice little crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a thing that people in America would want.
The size of it is actually, it's about 3 inches longer than the Hyundai Venue.
All right, so it's not that big.
Yeah, it's not that big, but also not crazy small. So it could conceivably sell here in the U.S.
We'll see. It's Volkswagen. Who knows what they can afford to do?
Yeah, they're all going to be based. They're going to have a 223 horsepower front motor to start with, and then other versions like the GTIs and so on will have a little more power. And then there's also they're also showing a Cupra version of this on the same MEB. What do they call it? The MEB Lite or MEB Entry platform is what they call it. And this one's called the Raval. So a little hot hatch. And I wonder if Cupra had given any consideration to this being part of their U.S. lineup, which has now been pushed back indefinitely.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Again, it's Volkswagen doesn't have. Volkswagen needs to sort of reshuffle and figure things out as a company, and so they're going to be a little bit more, I think, conservative with what they bring to the U.S., because they don't want to bring it over here unless they think it's going to do really, really well. And I think the the sort of delay with the ID Buzz and some of the sort of like, I don't know, the ID Buzz itself, I think, sort of is not helping them, to be honest.
And the tariffs just make it even more complicated if it's not being built here.
If you're a company and you can sell, you know what, we can sell a lot of these in China, we can sell a lot of these in Europe for the next 3 or 3.5 years, and then just sort of like keep, what we know will sell in the United States, selling in the United States, you're probably going to do that, especially for Volkswagen. Like, you're not going to take a lot of chances, which I don't blame Volkswagen for not taking chances. I think they spent like the last couple of decades just giving us really boring vehicles, unfortunately. And now that they're like, oh, we really got to do something about it, now it's like the worst time to like try to do something about it. And you're like, I guess.
Yeah. It's a shame. I'd love to see more cars like this on the road here.
Yeah. You won't.
I know.
Yeah.
You won't, Sam.
They call them no.
Yeah.
Bringing you back down to earth. No.
Yeah. The ID Polo is supposed to start at close to 20,000 euros. Yeah, which is what, about $22,000 right now?
Yeah.
Be a lot more when it got here, though.
Well, yeah.
With everything.
A lot more. So.
It'd be $70,000 after tariffs.
$70,000 Polo. It'd sell like hotcakes, guys. Sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, I know. It's depressing.
Sigh.
But we got the Duallie Slate that we built. So
you guys, we got that.
We got the Duallie Slate, so everyone, thumbs up.
Yay.
All right. Well, that's it for this week.
Sam's still like, I'm not getting the cars I want. Fine, I'm done. Cutting the show. That's it.
We're done.
We'll talk to you all next time. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business and sell more with less effort thanks to the Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/redcircle, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/redcircle now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/redcircle.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.